What is going on, Pokemon community? It is Achilles018 here, and today we are talking about the decision made by GameFreak and the Pokemon Company to not include the National Pokedex in Generation 8, and quite possibly beyond. More specifically, the technical lack of a national dex started in Generation 7, where only about half of the Pokemon were able to be recorded in the Pokedex and thus do not have Generation 7 entries. What fans are actually referring to when they talk about the national dex in this particular situation is the fact that not all Pokemon will be rendered, and therefore catchable in these games. This is a big deal, because Pokemon trainers build strong and personal relationships with their Pokemon, whether that's for companionship in Pokemon Me, journeying through the main campaign, or crushing the competition in online battles in the metagame. Everyone has their go-to, their ride-or-die companions, and if your favorite Pokemon isn't going to be rendered in these games, it's going to be a new kind of adventure for you. Catching, breeding, interacting, trading, and battling without them. Some are making jokes that the slogan of "gotta catch 'em all" is useless now, but truthfully, there have been other times in the Pokemon main series lifespan in which it has been impossible to catch 'em all, including back in Gen 3 before the Fire Red and Leaf Green games came out, but I digress. It's kind of ironic this decision was made because Game Freak claims to understand this relationship between trainer and Pokemon and thus created Pokemon Home, which I am personally really excited about, and I hope is more of an interactive version of Pokemon Bank where we can meet our Pokemon, care for them, and play with them, as opposed to the original Pokemon Bank, which serves as a fantastic function for bridging Pokemon between generations, but clicking and dragging sprites on a screen doesn't do much for building relationships. So you can understand where the irony comes into play when Game Freak announces almost simultaneously, "Hey, we know you love your Pokemon, so here's Pokemon Home, and we hope you enjoy that because some of your Pokemon are only going to be interacted with through Pokemon Home, because they won't be in the upcoming Sword and Shield games." So where do I stand on this? Well, I hate to say it, but I've got a hot take for you. First things first, this change makes me very sad, and it will impact me personally. In case you don't know, I'm the proud owner of a living dex, so if Game Freak decides not to include 200 Pokemon, I will literally feel all 200 of my personal caught, bred, and trained companions being left behind. I have connections to them, and it will absolutely make me sad. This is coming straight from the heart though. When I take time to process this and think hard about it after the initial sting wears off, I think this change is bound to happen eventually. I want you to think 20 years into Pokemon's future, when we have nearly 2,000 Pokemon on our hands. Can we really expect all 2,000 Pokemon, unique, beautiful, and vivid creatures, each with their own personality, abilities, stats, skills, movesets, to exist in the same world all at once? I'm not a programmer or a game designer, but I'm pretty sure that there are technical limits to what these games can hold, and a number like 2,000 in a couple of decades, or even about 900 today, seems like a tremendous amount of unique assets for a game to hold. And that's not counting a single NPC, Pokeball, blade of grass, or building. Add all that in there, and there are thousands of unique assets and only so much memory. It saddens me to say, but I honestly do believe this is the future. Not all Pokemon will be included in future games. I don't like it, but I understand it enough to not be angry at Game Freak or give an arbitrary thumbs down to a Sword and Shield video. My hope is that Game Freak finds a way to correct this and give players the ability to journey how they want, as they want, with whom they want, Pokemon and all. With that said, if that's not possible, I understand the number of Pokemon will continue to grow, and the challenge to include them all will only become greater over time, not lesser. It's a sad day for Pokefans, but I kind of see this as something that's unavoidable. I'm a silver linings type of person, so I just hope that players take on this new journey with some new companions and forge new and unique experiences. When I played Gen 4 and Gen 5, I was frustrated initially when I found out that you couldn't transfer Pokemon from past generations until you beat the Elite Four. Looking back now, I can honestly say it made me appreciate these games more, especially the Gen 5 games. Being more or less forced to build teams with completely new Pokemon put me in a position to form strong bonds with Pokemon that I otherwise would have just caught to fill the Pokedex and placed in the PC for an eternity. I will always remember my black and white journey with Sewaddle, Zebstrika, Tepig, Pidove, Chandelure, and Axew thanks to this mechanic that initially I disliked with a passion. All of that to say, I hope we can all make the best of an unfortunate situation and create some truly fond memories with new friends in the region of Galar.